and this is where we would say the clever thing that we're supposed to make up. This is where your planning is our planning, or we do the plans for you, or something like that. We're Family Magic Weekly.
Okay. So earlier today, a friend shot me over a text message and said, "I have a Disney question for you. I have a day with a toddler. Do I do Epcot or Hollywood Studios?" And initially, I shot her an answer, and then I thought about it a little more, and a little more, and I said, I think we have a topic for a video. So, we're going to compare Hollywood Studios and Epcot, and our experiences with our toddler, and see what we can give you as far as an answer.
It's Epcot versus Hollywood Studios, the age-old question.
With a toddler.
Provided the age is half a day. This is when we got the...
I think Hollywood Studios and Epcot are completely different experiences with a child than they are with an adult. Hollywood Studios has some of the best rides at Disney, but they're also rides that you cannot put a child on.
Right.
So there are rides that we've been experiencing by ourselves lately because we do the park hopper option.
Correct. Well, if you're putting Hollywood Studios up against any park right now, as the time we're recording this is, a lot of times it's going to lose and lose big. Hollywood Studios is under a lot of construction. As if you've watched my commentary video that on Star Wars Land, that's one of the reasons why. One of the other reasons why is why one day it will be a very good park for young kids. The Toy Story Land that they're also doing. But right now, it's a park very much in flux. It doesn't quite have an identity. They may change the name of it at some point. However, despite those things, there are still very good options for you taking a small child to Hollywood Studios. First of all, if they like watching Disney Junior, the entire Disney Junior park presence is at Hollywood Studios. You have the Disney Junior live show, which our son loved. It's not in a traditional theater. The kids are allowed to sort of sit on the floor. If they can stand, they can jump around. Some of them do run around in circles. So it's a very relaxed sort of setting to see a show.
Mom learned it's a good place to charge a cell phone.
It's a good place to charge a cell phone. They have some of the favorite shows. They have Jake and Neverland Pirates. They have Sophia the First. They have
Doc McStuffins.
Doc McStuffins, and they have Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Am I forgetting one?
Nope, I think that's it.
That's it. And they blow bubbles up in the air, which what 2-year-old doesn't love bubbles?
And it rains gold doubloons.
It does. So there's that. Disney Junior characters are also at the Disney Junior Character Breakfast, which is Hollywood and Vine. They have all those, including Handy Manny. I don't know if is Handy Manny still a show?
It is.
Okay.
On reruns, I think.
Okay. A lot of shows. So a lot of this boils down to how well your 2-year-old can sit through a show, or how well your toddler can sit through a show. There's a Beauty and the Beast show. There's a Frozen sing-along. There's a Little Mermaid show. There's the Muppets 3D. There's Star Wars, the Jedi Training Academy, which I believe you have to be 8 years old to do it.
I don't think it's that old.
Well, toddlers can't do it. However, the actual Training Academy is a show that you can watch, which our son enjoyed watching, even though he wasn't participating in it. The characters come out. There's also a main stage Star Wars show going on right now where Chewbacca comes out, Darth Vader, Kylo Ren. I believe there's some pyrotechnics during it. They shoot their blast. The First Order Stormtroopers shoot their blasters up in the air. So there's something like that. The kids, they can enjoy that. So you have Hollywood and Vine for breakfast, and then if you're looking to do lunch or dinner with kids, you have the Sci-Fi Drive-In. which is essentially going to a drive-in movie theater. You're actually sitting in cars, which is neat, but also a little something to consider that if you're a party of four and you're in one of the car booths, you're all facing forward. You're not facing each other, which might make things a little difficult if you're there with more than one child. Mom and dad may have to split forces. Divide and conquer. There are regular tables though also, but that's kind of not the best part of the experience.
A fairly new thing in Hollywood Studios is we tend to enjoy the Brown Derby. And when we were there last time, we just did the Brown Derby Lounge, which you can sit outside. It's like eating at a bar. They don't have a full menu. However, what was nice was we didn't think that William was really going to tolerate a sit-down meal, but we wanted good food. So we were able to just pull the stroller right up to a table, enjoy a drink, that big Cobb salad, and they gladly gave us something from the kids' menu that was in the restaurant for him. And we were still able to enjoy a pretty nice meal while keeping him out of a nice restaurant atmosphere, because it was, a typical no nap attitude.
Yeah, it's by far the fanciest restaurant at Hollywood Studios. And there's also, of course, there's Midway Mania, which, depending on the age, it could be a struggle getting your little one to wear the 3D glasses. So they may miss out on some of that experience. However, if they're fans of Toy Story, it's something to consider that's there. So,
since they've added the additional track, the wait time's really gone down. But if you are considering doing Hollywood Studios that day, that should be your number one priority in terms of fast passes, because that tends to be the longest wait, and it's gotten worse since other attractions at Hollywood Studios have closed.
Mm-hmm. So, obviously it's easy around this time frame to sort of rule out Hollywood Studios and say, it's not, it's a half-day park. However, or it's not a park for kids because they have Aerosmith and Tower of Terror. However, actually, if there's one population that the park is geared for right now, it is younger kids.
I would say that I don't think I consider our son a sit down and watch a show type. However, they do a good job of captivating the audience, and he did sit better than I had expected him to.
A lot of times it's the waiting for the show that's the issue.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So you have to balance. I need to get there in time to get a seat, but I can't be waiting with a kid for 25 minutes.
Right. So on the flip side, there's Epcot. Now a lot of people immediately think Epcot, and they think, okay, if they're like us, they think drinking around the world.
Not everybody does.
Okay, so the World Showcase is what they think. Whether you're going to eat.
You think Future World, Test Track, Mission Space, Spaceship Earth.
No, you think the World Showcase. Anyway. So Epcot with a toddler. There is a lot for kids, surprisingly. I was surprised taking William for the first time, and if you've watched our previous videos, you've seen that we stayed at Beach Club for the first half, so we found ourselves in Epcot a lot, especially if we knew that he was about to snooze in the stroller. We kind of seized the moment and headed into Epcot to enjoy a
ride on Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
The experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
Anyway, so in Epcot you have the land and the seas. I think that we kind of decided to skip the land for the most part. Inside the Land Pavilion, there's the Garden Grill, which is a character meal. Bless you, honey. There's the Living with the Land, which I always enjoyed. I don't think we try to put a toddler on it because it has its I don't think he would sit very well in it. And then there's a ride that he wouldn't be allowed on. The Seas, however, is definitely toddler friendly, kid friendly. You've got the Finding Nemo ride, and you've got the aquarium that when you get off of the Nemo ride, you're pretty much in the aquarium, where you can see anything from tiny little fishes to manatees. And then there's also Turtle Talk with Crushes there. And then there's like a little play area for the kids to run around where you can, take your picture inside Bruce's mouth, that kind of thing. So that's definitely a kid-friendly area all around. Then also close to there is the Figment ride. I think the other ride over there has been closed, but Figment is still a good kids-friendly ride.
Right.
And then the test track area was really that's skippable if you don't want to do the rider swap option.
Right. That's the nice thing. Well, the nice thing about test track is the lines are pretty long. However, if you get there early in the day, and it's you with kids that can't ride it and maybe another adult, you can both probably get in and out of the single rider line within a half hour.
Yeah.
The single rider line's pretty spot on with test track. So if you're looking, even though you're gearing the visit to kids, if you just want to if you want to get a ride in yourself, that's one that you can do pretty quickly and pretty efficiently.
In the front of the park, there's also, as he said, Spaceship Earth is a good ride. I think the darkness at the end slightly.
Or the beginning.
With
the mammoth and.
Yeah. So
that's
like if your toddlers gets scared easily type, that might be a ride that you want to avoid. The World Showcase, surprisingly appealing to a toddler.
She believes it is.
I totally believe it is.
I see partially where she's coming from.
So if you are like us and always tend to take the World Showcase clockwise, the first one that you're gonna hit, like the first full country you're gonna hit, is Mexico. Our son really enjoyed the ride, which is inside of the Mexico Pavilion. The Grand Fiesta Tour with starring the three caballeros.
You could just say the Grand Fiesta Tour. We'll edit it in post.
The Grand Fiesta Tour. It is a little very similar to It's a Small World and a slow-moving boat ride. But, music, loud color, like bright colors, loud music, that kind of thing. We got stuck on it with him, which he didn't jump ship, so that was good. And every country also has performance, which can be appealing to a child in a stroller, as far as keeping them entertained and not so irritable while you're enjoying the sunset.
Yeah, there's the Frozen Ever After ride. I don't know what the height requirement that is on that. Technically, it does have a log flume drop. I don't know what size child that disqualifies.
If you were ever on the previous ride, the ride itself, as far as the route it takes and stuff, I believe is the same. So it's just the theming that changed.
Yeah.
But
the boats pivot, go backwards, come back down. I don't ruin it for people.
If you have a kid that likes Frozen, then that might be something you want. I heard that there's parts of that that's slightly scary. No. I think it was closed last time we were there, so it's open since us.
You kind of never know what kids are going to be afraid of.
So there's also, as far keeping with the entertainment, our son loves the beer garden, so we made sure to hit that up as a meal while we're in Epcot. He really enjoyed in the Italy Pavilion. They had some flag performers.
It's like jugglers.
they have like chair balancers in China, and in Japan there are like they do drum performances. So like they definitely have a lot to offer that I think that I've prior to children overlooked.
Yeah.
Also, William and I got to wait a lot while we went into Epcot and grabbed our morning Starbucks. He really liked the water fountain show that they do with which, I mean, it's a toddler thing. Don't deny him.
Yeah.
And if your child is slightly older than toddler age, then they also have things like the Kim Possible. Is it Kim Possible? It might be Phineas and Ferb now. There's a scavenger hunt that the kids can do throughout the pavilions. They also have the kid cot stops. So there's like crafts at certain stages. So they definitely have acknowledged that it's not the most kid-friendly of the parks, and they've tried to make the adjustments. So there is stuff there, and it is appealing. One of the other things that they have that William really enjoyed was they have a huge train display in Germany.
Yes.
And
G-scale trains. It's true. It's
and Chris enjoyed as well.
Yeah. So what do we recommend? Well, we recommend a park hop.
Yeah.
But if that's not a possibility, Amanda kind of leans more towards Epcot. I lean a little more towards Hollywood Studios, with the caveat that at Hollywood Studios there's going to be a lot of shows. So if you're not trying to regularly sort of insert the structure of a sit-down show throughout the course of your day, if that's not appealing to you based on how you feel your child's going to be throughout the course of the day, Epcot offers you more flexibility, believe it or not. You can, you have a lot of these things can be done with a child in a stroller, or a lot of these things you have the option of taking the child out. Turtle Talk with Crush is a show type thing. Nemo's a ride. And they very much can sort of run around and put their hands in the glass, and I don't know if you're allowed to put your hands in the glass at the aquarium, but you can, hey, it happens. With that, I would if that's more the speed that you're looking for, then I would tend to agree with Amanda and go with Epcot.
And I think in our experience, it was that we couldn't miss out on the Disney Junior experience for William.
Right.
And we always do the park hopper, so it was easy for us that we would go spend the morning in Hollywood Studios and then hop over to Epcot. Especially considering that if you do go ahead and get the park hopper for the day, they're the perfect parks to hop from because they're so close in proximity that you're not going to waste time on a bus, because you can just walk out of Hollywood Studios and hop the boat and walk right into the World Showcase. You can take the 20-minute walk, 20-ish minute walk so you don't have to worry about standing in line for a bus. Like, I just feel like those two are really good. If you're going to do one day of hopping, those two are the two to do it.
You could really you could essentially do your morning at Hollywood Studios, maybe leave around and take a late lunch. You're going to pass right past the boardwalk, maybe go to the ESPN zone, eat, try to rest up, and then take the rest of the walk over into Epcot. Although there's good places to eat in both parks, so I wouldn't necessarily say you had to do that, but that's it's always an option.
The other thing to consider about the night shows at Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Now, my favorite night show is Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios. Epcot has Illuminations. As far as with a child,
Star Wars right now at Hollywood Studios also. Yeah.
Good. As far as with a kid, I would probably, with a small child, I would probably avoid Fantasmic, as much as it pains me to say, because you have to park the stroller. It is like an amphitheater. So you have to park the stroller, take the kid in, and considering the time that the night shows are at, you're probably already in a touch and go mood-wise situation. In Epcot, you can see the shows from so many different, or the show from so many different areas, and you can keep them in the stroller. That way, if they fall asleep, you can still enjoy the show without having to get them up and out.
You can start leaving and watch the show.
True, very true. So I would say Fantasmic for an older kid who can really deal with it. I haven't seen Fantasmic in a while,
right.
For that reason. But I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't push it. So we watched Illuminations actually from the dock at Beach Club. William was in his pajamas holding his nightlight while we sat and watched. Because we found out, like, after leaving, thinking he was too tired to stay, that he was wide awake, and he was already in his pajamas, so we headed out and saw him, and he enjoyed them right from the dock. It was a really good option. So let us know what you think, if you've gone to Hollywood Studios or Epcot, or both, with a kid. What's your experience? What would you recommend if someone asked you to decide between the two?
Right, and we hope this helps. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest.
Yep.
And subscribe, do whatever the corresponding thing is for each of them. So that's it. That's it for this week. So until next time, be careful.